Hello guys, welcome to another London Open webinar. Today is the 1st of October 2019 and really nice day guys to come here and speak about, because we are seeing some breakouts in the market, some big moves here and there, and that give us opportunity, some plan of action for the next sessions later today or the next few days to be really active. So for me, that is a really nice thing to see from the market right now. So from what we can see here, here's the major news. As you can see here, the top headline, it says that the dollar it's at the highs and very it is going for it. We have been discussing about this dollar index, right? We have this drawn here on the weekly chart, expecting a longer term, a medium to long term move to 150 or so, somewhere there, which I don't think is going to take that long anyway, but here we go. But we are finally, guys, breaking up, and where we are now, we are going back to levels that we were here. So we're talking here about levels that we only saw in May 2017. Okay, so really nice to see the dollar really going through and start breaking, and you can see continuation to the upside as you expected, especially with this candle from yesterday above this previous high, a really bullish candle, and it looks really want to go, right? So that's one thing for sure, which we have been discussing for quite a period, right? For a few days now, especially inside of this triangle. I told you guys to be very aware of a breakout which occurred here, and then after that, the dollar has really been very strong indeed. Going back to the headlines here, and as you can see, the dollar, the Australian dollar, we only had the RBA overnight, and they cut the interest rate to 0.75%, and that it's really bad for the dollar, the Australian dollar, and that has been giving the cross rate effect to other currencies, and that straight away affects the dollar itself. So that's why we saw the euro making new lows, and the cable just testing that 2270 again, and things like that. Yeah. So yeah. So I'm trying to see here whether I got more information from. 1 second, guys. Anyway, I was reading an article, which I think is this one. No, it's not. But anyway, it's just talking about what the RBA did and what's the reason is. And one of the reasons why they are doing, and they confirmed this, is because they are seeing other central banks around the world cutting interest rates. So why should they leave their interest rate higher? It doesn't really help them. So they need to be in line of what the other central bank is, and they are normally one that loves to really copy what the Fed is doing and other big central banks. Anyway, so that is what happened. So that's the big headline. So we saw the dollar making new highs. You're seeing here the Aussie going back to this lows here again around the 67 handle, and then we saw the euro making new lows here, but it's holding so far. So lots to talk about. So let's go back to the dollar index, and I think that today, if the dollar gets sold for some reason, I think we need to treat this last high as a kind of support. So I'll be watching this zone here, to be very honest, as support. Okay, so I'm talking about the high and the pivot level. So we're talking here about 99.37 to 99.30. Okay, so about a 7 points zone here as support, I believe. So if we do come back to here, me personally, I'll be looking to buy some dollar expecting a continuation to the upside again, okay? Because you have to think about it. The dollar, it's really going up, and maybe it's too late to join the boat. That's the only issue I have, because let's go now. Actually, let's finish the analysis here. So what support, what resistance, what's the next level I'll be watching myself next? So let me, what I will do, I will add a fib here, extension, so it's from the last high to the low. So I'll be watching this 99.80 next, as resistance, as the next target for the dollar. Okay. Now going to the euro, and like I said, it is a little bit stretched, and selling now, it's a little bit dangerous. Should you close your shorts now? Maybe not. Maybe not. Okay. But opening new positions, I think, is too late. You're gonna join the boat a little bit late, and that's not great. Okay. So the euro here for me, I'll be watching, you know, the zone here. So we are talking here about the 09 handle, 0905 or so. Okay, as resistance. If that breaks, then I'll be watching the 0927, guys, and this is the big zone, I believe, for us to watch, because if we do break above again, maybe we have a first breakout. So any move close to here as possible, I think we should look to sell, in my view. Okay, the euro, it is as you know, as support. As you can see, 08 is the first fib extension here, and if we do start breaking that, then I'll be watching this 0850 next, yeah, which is the S2 today. The ATR is just below there, so I think it's a great target to hit here, if we do get there. Okay, so that's the euro there. Resistance, looking to sell at opportunities. I think we are now in a bearish trend until we are below this 0930 zone. Okay, cable. So the cable, guys, like I said yesterday, is not the market I think is the best one to trade right now, for many reasons. Number one, for me, it's a little bit messy. The dollar, it's bouncing, but the cable is not falling like the euro is. And then when the dollar falls, the cable doesn't really bounce. So that's one reason. Second, too much risk, especially this month, which is getting close to the deadline. Okay, that's another big point there. And I think that's enough not to trade a cable. You know, in my view, if you do trade very short term. Don't try to hold a position for too long, because you will only hold risk in your portfolio if you trade a cable right now, I believe. So that's the cable in my view here. But we are in a kind of support here, as you can see, big support. If you look the market reaction before, you know, it's quite massive here. So, you know, if we do, you know, here's support, resistance, guys, it's of course here around 24 handle. Okay, look at the 24 handle, support at 22, the 2260 zone. Okay, a break there, guys, then I'll be watching the 618, which comes around 2197. Okay, so maybe something like this can happen, maybe. I don't know, something like that. You know, you can expect if we do break this yellow zone and then 618. I'll be watching for that for the next target. Dollar Swiss, guys. So the dollar Swiss yesterday, I said about this previous high here, isn't it? So we did break yesterday. We didn't close above it, so it was not a huge signal. But today we're having that continuation, guys. So, you know, I think now it's giving a breakout area. And normally when you want to trade breakouts, normally you measure the size of the range and use this as a target. So, you know, people that are trading this range breakout, they are probably targeting the 02 handle. Okay, so we're talking here about 100 pips higher from where we are now. So that's something to watch. So I do think it's bullish. And while the euro remains weak and this continues to be where it is, I think it has a really nice chance to come back to these highs again for the dollar Swiss, in my view. So I think it is bullish. And for today, I think any pullback to, let me delete this. So any pullback, so any pullback to this area here, so I'm talking about 99.60. While we remain above here, it's bullish, to be very honest, but we do have some kind of support around the 99.80. So any move to these two levels, I think we should look to buy from these two, but we need to remain above the pivot today, okay, to be bullish, in my view, on the dollar Swiss. Dollar Canadian, look, it looks like a triangle now, right? I will keep this upper line here because, you know, it has been serving well, so, you know, we haven't break yet, so I can leave it there. But it looks very clear triangle here, like a wedge, isn't it? So keep an eye on this high that we made so far today, and especially this high here on late on late 27, so I think late Friday, isn't it? Late Friday, yes. So keep an eye on this high here. So I'm talking about 32.64. Okay, guys. If we do start breaking here, then I think, you know, then the chances is for this to go to 33 again. Okay, and that 33 is going to be a big test. And then if we do start breaking the previous high, which is 33.10, then that's going to give us a signal that now it's ready to go. And then I think, guys, we're going to come back to the 618 here on the daily, which is 33.55. And if that doesn't really hold, then I'll be watching around here again. So 35.50 my target for the dollar Canadian, to be very honest. But so far so good, nothing really special to speak about, but we can also break lower, right? So if we do break, you know, I'll be watching to go to 31.50 zone again. So keep an eye this low here, 32.24, as an area to really keep an eye on the dollar Canadian. Okay, dollar yen, very powerful move, and I really like here. I'm long, and I'm very happy to be long now, because one of the reasons I'm very happy to be long now, if you look at S&P, we broke a trend line that I have. Let me draw here. I have on the hourly chart, not on the 4. 1 second. So I have this trend line here in my screen. Pretty much looks like that, or like this, whatever you want to draw it, but anyway, you can see what I think. So we are finally breaking here. We broke that trend line now, so any move to 29.80, I think, can be a really great opportunity for this to go back to where he belongs, which I think the S&P, it really wants to go back above, you know, to the highs again, not because it broke this trend line, but if you look at the daily, many reasons to believe that. One of the things, looks like a false breakout here, right? New and low, and then boom, perfect test around this 50 moving average, and you can see this orange line here. You know, we never closed below that line, so support has been holding very well. Yeah, so I think it does look bullish. Until this looks bullish, that will help the dollar yen goes, and the dollar yen is actually making new highs on the day right now, which is nice to see. Great, isn't it? Anyway, and another thing is bonds. So let's have a quick look on bonds. It's NZ or ZN? ZN. Here we go. So ZN, guys, right now, you know, it's at support here. So if we do break, you know, this low here, if we break 129.90, it's gonna look perfect, right? So a break here, then I'm assuming, let me add a different fib here. Let me help myself here a little bit. So let's add a fib from the low to the high here. So as you can see, that line is at a 38.2 by the pip. So a break below the 38.2, which is those two lows here, previous two lows. Then I think we're gonna move to the 618, so S5, big support area here, by the way. And then, you know, maybe hold here for a while, and then, you know, back to the lows again, I believe. On the short term, that's what I think is gonna happen. And if you look the long term weekly chart, I think we're gonna test this channel here, and even more importantly, maybe a break of that channel, because this for me here is a huge deal. This for me here is a huge deal. You know, a first breakout above the channel, and now inside. I think the pressure now is totally to the downside here, which is very, very bullish for the dollar yen, guys. Okay, so I'm holding my longs. I'm very happy with it. I spoke about 109 being my target, but who knows? Maybe I can close half of my trades there. Maybe 70%, 60% of my loans there, and then hold the remaining and see what can happen, because it can give the dollar yen a huge move to the upside, right? Another thing to keep an eye as well is those US China trading deals, statements, tweets, whatever, anything that, you know, it gives a positive news regarding that trading talk. It can boost stocks, and boosting stocks will boost dollar yen. So that's something to watch on. Right now, oh, the dollar yen just spiked. Look at that. Bloody hell. A 10 pip pop on the dollar yen for some reason. Anyway, so that's what I think on the dollar yen long term. Okay, guys. So I feel quite, you know, happy to see this going forward as it is, but I need to see this break above the 108.50, which is the previous high, first, for me to be very happy. And then comes to this range, you know, really big is the area, guys. This is huge. We also have the 200 moving average there, around the 109 handle. So that's why I think it's a great place to take some profits off the table. But if we do break above this zone here, then I think 111.50, it's very possible next. So that's how it is, and that's dollar yen. So keep an eye on it. Let's look the Aussie. So the Aussie, like I said, you know, it went lower on the RBA decision. They cut, and here we are. Look, long term, I'm not sure what to do. I told you guys that I was looking to buy. I put it this arrow that I was looking to buy here, but then I told you guys, look, the dollar it's selling off while the Aussie is not going up. Remember, that was when we were here on these two big red candles. I told you guys, look, it doesn't really look that great. It's not respecting when the dollar is going lower. So I want to be away, and thanks God I did. I was correct on that, and here we are. So, you know, big zone here. If we do break here, guys, what should we look for? You know, maybe that is your question, and you know, you're right to ask yourself that question. I think I'll be aiming for the next fib extension. So we're talking here about the 66.31. To be very honest with you, that will be my next target for the Aussie, in my view. Look, but buying Aussie and the Kiwi right now, it's very complicated, because let's think about it. You have now the dollar, which is strong, right? And that it's breaking the euro, it's breaking many other pairs, and now you also have commodities which looks weak, right? So you don't want to buy the Oz and the Kiwi, knowing that gold, it's falling. Silver is falling. Oil, it's falling. All these commodities are falling, right? It's not great news. So that's what I would expect, and on the people to look at this and think like that. So I'm not looking to buy the Aussie um, at all, because the correlation is not really helping me. So I think it's quite easy for the Aussies to start breaking to new lows, really. So I'll be watching next, levels below that. But I'm not too sure if I'm gonna buy this anytime soon, to be very honest. Resistance for today, guys, the huge resistance, it's gonna be this range here, isn't it? So the S1 pretty much. So we are talking here about the 6740 level as big key resistance. Do I think we're gonna retest that today? I don't think, but who knows, right? But if we do, that needs to be a place for action, right? And that needs to be a place of action, to be very honest. If we looked at 1 hour, even the 1 hour, you don't see anything close to that. So I'll be watching 67.25 as first resistance. If that doesn't hold, then 65.40 to really hold this market. If we do start breaking above the 65.45, then I'll be probably out, because then we're going to be back to where we were doing the news. RBA decision was pretty much here, so then we're going to be above that open of the candle, and it's not going to look great. So I'll be a little bit away from that if we do start breaking above 67.45 on the Aussie. Let's look the QE. So the QE, this is the one we have been talking about, and very patient, which is very nice to admire from us. Anyone that has been following and not trading this, because it's one of those markets that I nearly bought it because it looks so overstretched, but I knew it was, that has that extra energy to go, and it's playing out, right? It's playing out, and the level that we has been speaking about has been this 62 handle, right? If I zoom out on the weekly, you know how big this 62 is, but just looking at this chart here, right? So it's a massive trend line on the weekly, which comes around 62 handle. So I have been waiting. We are getting very close. We are only 32 pips away, and I do think we're gonna reach there at some point, which hopefully is gonna happen. And you can see here the 1.618 fib extension as well comes around 61.87. So I think here's a place that, if you think it's good to buy some commodity currencies, I think that is an excellent place to buy the QE, to be very honest. Now, should you trade? Should you just leave an order and leave? I'm not too sure. Me personally, I'll be watching the 62 and see what type of reaction the market makes. I want something to be calm and comes very quickly. So if we go maybe to a 15-minute chart, you will probably see these in more detail. So something that, it look like big green candle showing that, buyers are stepping in, and then I'll be using that confirmation and then for entry. So my entry is not going to be around the 62. It's going to be higher, but I know this looks very weak, and getting in front of it, sometimes it's not the best plan of action. So I will be watching and see what happens at 62, but that is a very big level on the QE. And I think we saw all the Forex majors explaining to you guys everything I'm planning to do today and the next few days. Let's look at the markets. Let's look gold. So gold finally broke that 1480 level, which if you look also on the weekly, you can see how big that zone was. So the question here is, how far can gold go? Is gold still bullish? What do you think? I think short term gold is bearish. Not because technically it does look a little bit more short-term bearish, but I think that gold will remain like this, not, going a little bit lower while the dollar doesn't really reach that 100 level. So what I'm hoping it happens is that by the time that gold reach somewhere here, will be probably the same time that the dollar index hit that 150 level. So by the time that gold reach somewhere here, then the dollar will be at 100, and then both of them reverse at the same time. That's what I'm hoping it happens. Okay, that's what I'm hoping it happens. Do I think it's gonna go straight away there this week? No, I think it's gonna take a while, something like this, and then move up. Something like this can really happen. But let's check something else, because one thing is for sure. I spoke about gold a few days ago, and I told you guys why the gold correlation with the dollar was a little bit broken. Because of what? Because of dollar Chinese yuan, right? But look what is happening here right now. So what the hell is happening here? So since when? So since pretty much here, right? The dollar Chinese yuan spiked up, gold went with it, and then the Chinese yuan came lower, which gold did with it. So actually it's here. That's when things changed. So you can see the Chinese yuan made a new low, and then from there on it's going up, right? So look what is happening to gold. Gold is never coming back, and as you can see here, it's a huge divergence now in price. So that's something to watch. Maybe one of them is lying. Not maybe, but I'm pretty sure one of them is lying. But the question is which one it is. And I hope is the gold that it is. So that's the one I'm tracking and waiting for. So you can see here 4-hour support here. So I'll be watching gold, but the area that I really want to do some business with is somewhere here around the 1400 level. Okay, I'm really hoping it gets there, because then I think it's a great opportunities to really start doing business with gold. Okay, guys. So too late to sell now, I have to say. Very, very late to sell. If we do jump, you don't want to see gold getting back above this zone. So we are talking here about 1481, 1482. You don't want to see that happening. So any opportunities close to this zone, that's when you want to use as opportunities to jump and probably sell gold there. So it really looks really nice here on gold. Another thing, I saw some people calling this as a double top. It is, but I have to say that it's already completed, right? Even if I use the highest point from the double top there, you can see here that it was already completed here around 1476. So that's no longer happening. We spoke about this being a head and shoulders. It did look like it, but maybe this shoulder for me is too long. But even if it is, let's say even if I believe this is it's a head and shoulders formation playing out, this is pointing all the way to 1410. So you can see 1410, 1400 on the weekly, daily, 1445, the 38.2, the 618 at 1377. So you can see a lot of things really happening, right? Somewhere here in gold. So I think that's the box where you want to start adding positions, long positions. So I'm really hoping there is a lot more into gold to continue moving up. Okay, so hopefully when gold reaches these levels, this box, like we spoke, that's probably the same time that the dollar really hits that 100 mark. I think that is going to be like the perfect plan. Really, I really, I really hope that happens. So that's good for you. Same for silver. So let's have a quick look on silver. We normally don't look silver here, but here we are. And silver, it's one market that I don't like to trade because sometimes it give you over exaggerated moves. It's not this. So if I do add a fib extension from this low to this peak, you can see here that this 1655, it's probably the next support on silver, and you can see here it's a really nice place, isn't it? Really perfect resistance here. 1, 2, 3, 4 highs. The last time after we broke, we retested and bounced hard. So I think the 1657 is a really big support on silver. If we break that, then I'll be watching all the way to 16 handle, probably somewhere there. 618, and as you can see, a big area of support as well, isn't it? Perfect area of support there on silver. Equities, we already spoke about equities. Like I said, I think it's bullish now. I think it really wants to go higher. Let's look at the DAX here. The DAX, guys, is testing. It is testing this massive trend line on the weekly. This is the one you have to watch today, to be very honest. If we do start breaking today and really close with a very big green candle and above this high, which is 12.49.0, then I think this is gonna go. Yeah, so just a warning. Really can be a really nice trade, this one. I'm watching this personally. I want to be involved in this if that happens, so keep an eye on this high here. Let's see if we can close on the daily above this 12.49.0 here today in the DAX. Anything else? Let's have a quick look on oil, because this has been one of the big markets to watch. And oil did something very interesting here today, yesterday actually. We did close below this trend line, and I'm not sure how big this trend line is. It's not the greatest trend line, I have to say, but if I do see oil coming back here, so I'm talking about 55.42, and start rejecting there on the short term, like 1 hour chart, 30 minutes, stuff like that, then guys, I do think we're gonna just go to 53 or even 51, which is massive, by the way. Let me add a square here. So I think this is massive. Yeah, so if I see this trend line, if we do get back there, retest the trend line and start rejecting, I think we're gonna come to the 50 level in oil. But keep in mind, this is very risky, guys. Okay, very risky market to trade right now, because of the tensions that we are having on the Middle East. Okay, guys, so keep that in mind. Okay, so that's one there to keep a mind on oil, maybe to help you trade the dollar Canadian, probably. Yeah, and I think that's all, guys. So the dollar remains very strong here. We are seeing the Aussie pretty nearly making new lows here as we speak right now. The 5 minutes, we have some data coming out. We just saw the Italian PMI came out, 47.8. Expected was 48, so a little bit negative there. Not much, but something to watch. Not very close to what I expected. So that's why I think we didn't see a huge move or a nice move on the euro. The French PMI expected is 50.3, which comes in 2 minutes. So that's the one you keep in mind, because if it comes below 50, that's when the market, can give a nice move on the euro. Let's go to the euro here. So as you can see, euro, it's still heavy because of the dollar. But if we do see a French PMI comes negative below 50, I don't think this euro is gonna hold this low. That's one thing to keep in mind. Then we have the German number, which is only 5 minutes after the French number. The expected is 41.4, which is quite shocking to say, at least. If you look here, 41. That's the one. 41.4 is expected, so keep that in mind, guys. But look, if I go max here, you can see here how from end of 2017 this has been changing, right? Very dramatically. This German data, and not only this one but many others, right? And then we have the UK PMI 930, 47 expected, and then later today 2:45 we have the US PMI. So let's see, and then we have the 3 p.m. London time, we have the ISM PMI, which is I think a good number to watch, which is expected at 50.1. So let's see if it does drop below that 50. That's one to keep in mind. So the French number is going to come here in about 40 seconds. I think I will be here just to cover this one. Let's see the number, and let me bring the calendar here so we can see what the reaction on the market. So the number is going to come here in yellow. Okay. The blue number is the expected number, 50.3. If I make this a little bit larger, you can see the prior number and everything else. So the prior number is 50.3 as well, so they don't expect any change. So let's see. 5 seconds. So 50.1 is slightly negative, not a huge negative number, still below above the 50. So I don't expect the market to make a big deal of this. I think market can be a little bit happy to know that we're still above the 50 number, the 50 level. So as you can see, the euro didn't move that much, only moved 2 pips from that data. So that's what it was expected, really. So that's all, guys. Remember, 4 minutes time, German number. So we have many PMIs coming today to be the first day of the month. So normally they come around the first day of the month anyway. So many PMIs to watch today, see how they come, and keep in mind all the levels we spoke about today. Okay, guys, thanks so much for being here. I hope you have a great day. Good luck, and I speak to you guys shortly. Thank you. Take care. Bye bye.